华硕商用电脑 ASUS Expert 台湾市占第一，通过多项美国军规测试，以优异产品品质、高扩充性及完整的软硬体解决方案，帮助企业降低拥有成本，简化管理，结合客制化保固与在地服务。IT 专家华硕商用小队是各大企业政教单位的最强后盾。商用 AIPC 首选华硕，值得信赖。
各位听众朋友大家好，欢迎收听军事相对论。长期关注乌俄战争的朋友呢，近期一定觉得说，哎呦，一觉醒来怎么世界就变了。这因为在这个俄罗斯入侵2年多之后呢，乌克兰在这个月初8月6号发起了大反攻，而且这反攻还不是单纯的反攻，他们是一举攻进了俄罗斯的领土，在临近哈尔基夫 Kharkiv附近的这叫库斯克州。那一直到我们录音的当下呢，乌克兰宣称掌控了1150平方公里的土地，还有超过80个聚落，这写下了2次大战以来针对俄罗斯最大规模的入侵的行动，所以代表说这不是一个单纯的反攻，还有更多的历史的意义。那从乌克兰攻进俄罗斯开始呢，就已经有一些报道跟分析说，乌克兰的目的是向西方盟友展示说，你看2年过去了，我们乌克兰还可以打哦，而且他们逮捕了不少俄罗斯的士兵之后，那他们接下来呢就可以跟俄罗斯谈判，要来换球。那他们也增加了未来一些谈判的一些筹码。更重要的是呢，他们切断了俄罗斯的补给线，来减轻乌克兰在哈尔基夫前线的一些压力。但是我对这项行动其实还有很多很好奇的地方，例如他们到底要在那边待多久，他们能够坚持多久，然后他们要走多远，他们要打得多深。所以我今天就来邀请乌克兰民主自由联盟主席 The President at Liberal Democratic League of Ukraine Mr. Arthur Kharytonov 来跟我们对谈。 Hello Mr. Arthur.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Well, it's our honor to have you here because we have several questions for you. The very first one, I think many people in Taiwan are wondering, what are the purposes of the Ukrainian forces to advance into Russia?
So first of all, let me clarify, I'm not a military expert to command how things going on the battlefield. And we need to understand that there is a lot of special regime to command this, because the Ukrainian government doesn't propose us official statement what their plans to do in Kursk Oblast of Russia. But we must understand that there is a huge aim, political one, to change the dynamics of war and change the dynamics of the geopolitics.
Okay, so what is their ultimate goal? Because, like you said, they want to change the the political dynamic. So we know that Ukrainian forces want to end the war. They want to win the war. But in this case, what is their ultimate goal? They want to march to Moscow, or what is their next move?
It's very hard to predict. So first of all, we need to understand that there is a aim to fix the dynamics, to show that Ukraine can impact the real world and to change the reality in different ways. For the last 2.5 years, Ukraine never used Russian territory to impact the situation. But right now, there is a huge demand to do so. So I do believe we need to wait for the official statements from the Ukrainian government to hear the more practical proposals, what we are going to do. Only we have is like that we have in media, that Ukraine actually established the position of special command on the territory of Kursk Oblast to moderate the situation in the territories which is under control of Ukraine, but nothing more. And let's see. But what is very, very important, let's look at the geopolitical landscape, where we have a Chinese so-called peace plan, where Xi Jinping demands to stop the war at the battlefield line. So where we stand right now. And since Ukrainian army is standing in Russia right now, it means that Xi Jinping proposing to stop the war at the line of the Kursk Oblast. So it's a good question we need to raise, and I think that all that operation planned by the Ukrainian government is about to fix the dynamics and also to impact the geopolitical landscape, to make the best possible options for the Ukrainian government and army to change the situation for the Ukrainian aims.
Okay. Because I heard some analysis says Russia hasn't withdrawn forces from Donetsk region. And are you worried that this operation won't change the current situation?
There is some risk, of course, but as I said, it is a question to the Ukrainian military command. How do they feel about all these connections between the operation in the Kursk region and also in the Donetsk region? But what we know and what we know very well is that the situation in the Donetsk region is super complicated. Mm-hmm. And from the Ukrainian perspective, definitely it's very important to have additional options how to make the situation better. And I think that Kursk cooperation is about that. It's like my not very military point of view. Mm-hmm. But of course, we are aware that everything could be possible. And we believe that here, what is the core important is to save lives of Ukrainian soldiers, not to risk them just to catch a few kilometers, but to save them and to have the best positions to plan further steps.
Oh, but as we know that there are a small group of people advancing into Russia, so can supplies follow up to the advanced forces? And I mean, how does the Ukrainian government support the forces in the front line?
Well, there is a numerous chains of supply because Ukrainian defense forces are a very huge machine where we have different logistic groups, supporting groups. And I think at this moment, Ukrainian system of supplying military is one of the most developed in the world. First of all, due to the experience we have. Mm-hmm. Because there are different parts of the front line. It's super long front line from the south to east to north, and very different situations in different parts of the front line. That's why Ukrainian logistic forces are taking all the solutions very seriously to help the Ukrainian military. But of course, we should understand that the real war, is never about something super fancy and very, very, planned. Yeah. It's very important to have this anti-crisis steps and to be prepared that something could go wrong. And usually, of course, something bad could happen with the logistics and supplying. But as far as I know, everything works. But we need to look in every concrete case where everything is fine or everything is not so fine. It's reality.
Right. And I also want to know, how can other countries like the US, like Taiwan, can support and help?
Mm-hmm. It's a good question because I think that Taiwan is one among core democracies in East Asia and absolutely global technological leader. So I think there is a huge demand to establish very different levels of relations between our countries. We know that there is a long way at this moment to establish our representative offices in Kyiv and Taipei. It's our mutual goal to do so and to fight the obstacles we have on this way. But at the same time, this situation doesn't prevent us to develop relations at the level of business, of civil society groups, civil resilience groups, and to help each other. Because I think that it's never should be a way where Ukraine asks for one-way help. It's always about how we can help each other. Yeah. And since Taiwan also has a strong demand for security, for developing national resilience, I think Ukraine here also could be a good partner. And as far as I deal with the different pro-Taiwan groups in Ukraine, Taiwan-minded groups in Ukraine, they all think that there are a lot of opportunities for collaboration. So I think that we need to develop a different kind of relations in the business field, science technology field, and experience exchange field. So it's something we can start at this moment, and all these steps will bring us closer to more comprehensive and sustainable connections like office representatives we would have in Kyiv and in Taipei one day.
Yeah. So in this case, what can Taiwan learn from Ukraine?
Very different points. So first of all, I think that Taiwanese people can learn from the Ukrainian people what does it mean to have such huge and extreme existence crisis we have in Ukraine, because we have one aggressor which tries to destroy everything we know and everything we love. It's not only about the fact that there is a war with tanks, with fire, with rockets, but it's also about human lives and how to exist in the reality where everything you love can be destroyed and you can lose everything, including your life. So I think this people-to-people experience exchange is very core. Also, I think from the side of Taiwanese civil society and also the government, it's also very important to learn our practices and protocols, what we developed during the wartime. Because Ukraine joined the war without preparation to this such huge full-scale invention. Yeah, and I think it's fine that every country should have protocols for such terrible events we haven't seen from the World War II, but preparedness saves lives, and I think that here is also good direction for our collaboration where Ukrainians can exchange experience.
That's right. I also want to ask you a personal question that, in your opinion, how do the Ukrainian people feel about this incursion?
Well, there are 2 points of view. The first point is that people, of course, are very energized that the war is finally at the Russian territory, because for 2.5 years, Russia killed our people, destroyed our cities. They shelled the border cities of Ukraine super harshly. And if you will look at the situation in Kharkiv, in Sumy, in Chernihiv, and Mykolaiv, and other cities close to Kherson, definitely, other cities close to the battlefield. These cities are harshly damaged, and many civilians are killed. So Ukrainians are happy that Russians are finally feel something like that. But what is core difference? That Ukraine doesn't commit any crimes against humanity. If you will look at how Ukrainian soldiers and Ukrainian command treat Russians, they propose then humanitarian supplies, they treat their elders, they save their children, they propose humanitarian corridors. It's something Russia never did to Ukrainians, but what Russia did to Ukrainians is like the kind of genocide with concentration camps in Mariupol. If you will look back to 2022 or in other cases where Russians just joined Ukrainian cities and raped, killed people. So here is support from the side of the UN for Ukrainian actions. We know that from the position of the international law, Ukraine do self-defense, and we do this according to the international law and humanitarian law. It's very, very important. So that's why Ukrainians are quite refreshed by this operation. But it's like our high-level emotions. If we will go to the deeper part of what we feel, of course, we ask ourselves how it will enrich our security situation, how it will save our people, including people in the Donetsk region and other parts of the front line. So there are a lot of questions. We hope to hear soon more positions from the side of the government when these positions will be safe to tell to the world. So let's wait a little bit with this, but definitely I think there is a good points from the side of course operation.
That's right. And well, I wish all the best, and I wish Ukrainian forces the best. I wish you can achieve what you wish to do, and the best luck and Slava Ukraini.
Thank you very much, Heroям Slava.
Thank you. 好，非常谢谢 Arthur 先生的访谈哦。那在刚刚访问的过程当中，那由于他人在基辅，所以我们是用视讯访问，收讯状况可能并没有到非常的好。那没关系，我这边来简单帮大家做一个总结。那我想大家最好奇就是，那乌克兰军队目前在俄罗斯的领土里面，他到底要走多远？他在那边待多久？那基本上他对这个问题，他还是抱持比较保留的态度，因为他说现在讲太多的内容，可能对这些军人或是国家的战略，他们的思维可能会有一些的影响，所以他们国家其实也没有说太多。但他提到了一个蛮关键的部分，就是其实他们的人民因为被俄罗斯入侵了2年，而且他们受到很多的伤害跟迫害。像阿瑟先生他本身来自于尼古拉耶夫，大家知道在尼古拉耶夫曾经受创非常严重，那旁边就是赫尔松，所以他说其实在乌克兰的人民他们看到现在有发起这样子一个大反攻，能够攻进到俄罗斯的本土，对他们来说是一个蛮鼓舞士气的一件事情。但他们当然也会自己好奇说，那接下来这场仗要怎么打呢？他们要再去深入吗？还是他们要巩固他们现在固有的这个土地呢？还是他们要接下来要怎么做？他们其实也开始有一点点声音，但是目前来讲并不会影响到政府整体接下来要做的一个决策。那还是希望说我们继续往下来看。那至于说我们最关心的就是有关军事战斗，就是有关后勤补给的问题，因为毕竟今天进入到俄罗斯的只是一小支的部队，那他们使用大量的无人机，那他们接下来有没有办法继续往前推进或是巩固他们现在所占领的地方，其实跟他的后勤补给有非常大的关系，所以我也提问了这个问题。那他是说其实乌克兰军队他们有非常多这个有关后勤支援的一个经验，那他相信呢他们一定有办法能够抽出相对应的不管是无人机或是所需要的料件，能够提供给前线的官兵来做使用。那包括其实在最近也看到美国有一些学者也提到说，乌克兰既然能够攻进到俄罗斯的本土来进行反攻，那如果未来台海发生战争的时候，你何尝又不可能从台湾在这边发起反攻，在中国境内展现一定程度的效果。所以他也认为说，台湾在这所谓的乌克兰的经验上面，甚至在未来有关商业的方面或是更多的互动方面，其实都可以跟乌克兰有更多的一些互动跟沟通。我之前呢才在网上看到一个梗图啊，是对岸网友写的，我就稍微念一下。上面是写说，在2年前的时候，中国网友还在讪笑说，台湾啊，看好了，乌克兰只示范一次，就说要台湾人看看被入侵的一个下场。结果2年之后呢，中国网友喊说，怎么福建省反而被拿下来了？这个当然只是一个玩笑话，但是我必须提醒说，乌克兰的经历其实就是我们非常宝贵的参考。那如果今天这件事情是发生在台海的话，在侵略国的领土上放火，那这又何尝不是一种逆转战局的方法呢？但我们还是要密切注意乌克兰他们后续的发展，看看他们乌克兰的这一步棋，他们接下来还能够走得多远，还能够走得多好。好，那今天的节目就先到这边咯，我们下一集再见，拜拜。